In 2019, a single quantum processor completed a calculation that would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years to complete, and it did it in just 200 seconds. That experiment run by Google shattered the limits of classical computing. It proved that machines powered by the laws of quantum physics could do what no traditional computer ever could. Analysts project the quantum computing market could top $1 trillion by 2035, and we're now less than 5 years away from quantum advantage when those machines start outperforming classical computers on real tasks. In this video, I'll break down what quantum computing actually is, why experts believe it could trigger a $1 trillion market, and the 5 companies that are positioned to take the most advantage. Companies that are building the technology behind it. I'll show you what happens if you invest $10,000 into these stocks, and at the end, I'll show you a quantum stock that could potentially turn that $10,000 investment into a portfolio worth $4.4 million. So what exactly is quantum computing, and why are investors calling it the next great revolution after AI? To keep it simple, your laptop and phone think in bits, tiny on-off switches that represent ones and zeros. But quantum computers think in qubits, which can be both 1 and 0 at the same time. That sounds strange, right? But that in-between state, called superposition, lets them process millions of possibilities all at once. Imagine trying to find one correct key in a billion different locks. A regular computer checks them all one by one. A quantum computer tests them all at once. That's why industries from drug discovery to cybersecurity are obsessed with it. Quantum computing could solve problems that today's machines couldn't even attempt. Now, inside this world, there's what experts call the quantum trinity. Hardware, the physical quantum processors, the machines that run quantum calculations. Middleware, the translator layer that connects those processors to practical software, and cloud platforms, the systems that deliver quantum computing access to researchers, businesses, and developers worldwide. Together, these 3 layers form the foundation of the quantum ecosystem, and every serious player in this space is working somewhere within that trinity. And that's where the real investment story begins, because the companies positioned inside these layers are building the infrastructure of tomorrow. So let's start with number 5, Rigetti Computing, a small but daring innovator taking big steps towards that future. Rigetti is one of the few companies that builds full-stack quantum computing systems, meaning they don't just make hardware or software, they make everything. From designing the superconducting qubits that perform calculations to developing the software that controls them, and even the quantum cloud platform that lets developers run experiments remotely. Rigetti does it all in-house. This vertical integration gives Rigetti a unique edge. Instead of depending on outside vendors, they can innovate quickly, fix bottlenecks internally, and adapt faster than larger, slower competitors. That agility is critical in a field where new discoveries happen almost monthly. They've also built strong relationships with the U.S. government, including contracts with NASA, the U.S. Department of Energy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. These partnerships provide funding and validate Rigetti's technology as mission-critical for national research and defense applications. One of Rigetti's big milestones was the creation of its Aspen series of quantum chips. These chips have been used for hybrid quantum classical computing, combining quantum processors with traditional ones to solve problems faster and more efficiently. This hybrid model is likely to dominate the next decade, and Rigetti is already proving it works. Now, here's where Rigetti's story gets exciting for investors. Unlike many startups that are all promise and no progress, Rigetti is actually building a working ecosystem. Their quantum cloud services platform lets customers access quantum hardware through the cloud, similar to how Amazon Web Services transformed computing access in the early 2000s. They're not profitable yet, but it's still early. Think of Rigetti like AMD during the early microchip race, smaller, scrappier, and laser-focused on innovation. If the company can stabilize its finances and land consistent enterprise partnerships, it could evolve into a major player in hybrid quantum computing by the 2030s. Now, from an investor's standpoint, Rigetti represents a classic high-risk, high-reward play. The company isn't profitable yet, and its dividend yield is 0%, with all earnings reinvested back into research and development. But that reinvestment is the very reason investors are betting on its future. Over the past few years, the company's stock has shown bursts of growth, averaging around 31.35% appreciation. Impressive for an early-stage deep tech firm. Looking forward, Rigetti's long-term growth potential is projected at around 17.5% annually over the next decade. That's based on realistic expectations of continued government partnerships, gradual commercialization of hybrid quantum systems, and an expanding presence in cloud computing. If those numbers hold, a $10,000 investment today could grow to about $11,750 after 1 year. Roughly $50,162 after 10 years, about $251,627 after 20 years, and an astonishing $1,262,223 after 30 years, all through capital appreciation alone, without any dividend income. So Rigetti is not a safe stock. It's small, volatile, and operating in a space still in its infancy, but that's exactly what makes it intriguing. For investors willing to stomach the ups and downs, Rigetti could become the next great comeback story of the quantum era, a company that dared to challenge giants and over time helped shape the very future of computing. In fourth place is IBM, the veteran of the tech world that's proving it can still lead in the next great computing revolution. While most people think of IBM as the company behind mainframes and enterprise servers, it's actually been a pioneer in quantum computing for more than a decade. In fact, IBM was one of the first companies in the world to give public access to real quantum computers through the cloud, way back in 2016, when most people still thought quantum was just science fiction. Today, IBM runs what's known as the IBM Quantum Cloud, a global network that allows developers, researchers, and even universities to run quantum experiments remotely. Through its open-source programming framework called Qiskit, IBM has built one of the largest developer communities in the quantum ecosystem. There are now more than 500,000 registered users writing quantum algorithms using IBM software, a sign that this is becoming an actual industry and not just a lab experiment. IBM's hardware is built around superconducting qubits, a proven but complex technology that's shown consistent improvement in performance. The company's long-term roadmap aims for 100,000 qubits by the early 2030s, a scale that would move quantum computing from research into true commercial application. But here's what makes IBM so powerful strategically. It's not just focused on building quantum chips, it's integrating quantum computing into its broader ecosystem, combining it with artificial intelligence, hybrid cloud services, and enterprise data solutions. IBM's clients in finance, logistics, and chemistry are already testing how quantum models can optimize portfolios, materials, and supply chains. And because IBM already has decades-long relationships with Fortune 500 companies, it's in the perfect position to commercialize this technology first at scale. IBM may not be the flashiest stock on this list, but it's the foundation builder, the company laying down the pipes and platforms that the rest of the quantum revolution will run on. Reliable, profitable, and forward-thinking, IBM is a rare case of an old titan writing its next chapter in the language of the future. It currently offers a dividend yield of 2.19%, with 10-year dividend growth averaging 3.87%, reflecting its reliability as an income-generating stock. Over the last decade, its average share price appreciation has been around 22.16%. With its leadership in quantum as a service, AI-driven efficiency, and high-margin software growth, IBM's revised future CAGR is projected to be around 18% over the next 10 years, nearly doubling its historical pace. If that projection holds, a $10,000 investment could grow to about $12,019 after 1 year. roughly $57,964 after 10 years, around $310,235 after 20 years, and approximately $1,631,663 after 30 years. These are great returns, but there are even better options to come, and in the end, I'll show you a quantum stock that could potentially turn a single $10,000 investment into a portfolio worth $4.4 million. At number 3, we have Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, a company that's not trying to win the hardware race in quantum computing because it's aiming to control the entire ecosystem instead. The strategy of Microsoft is to build the platform that connects them all. That platform is called Azure Quantum, an extension of its already dominant cloud business, Azure. Through Azure Quantum, developers, researchers, and corporations can access real quantum hardware from multiple providers, including IonQ, Rigetti, and Quantinuum, all in one place. Think of Azure Quantum as the App Store of the quantum era, a centralized hub where quantum hardware meets software, analytics, and AI. Instead of betting on one type of technology, Microsoft earns from all of them. That's what makes this company's position so brilliant. It's both an enabler and a gatekeeper for the industry's future. But Microsoft isn't just aggregating other people's machines. Deep within its research division, it's working on one of the most ambitious projects in quantum physics, topological qubits. Unlike conventional qubits, which are highly unstable, topological qubits are designed to resist errors naturally. If Microsoft succeeds, and early signs suggest there's progress, this breakthrough could redefine what scalable quantum computing looks like. What's even more impressive is how seamlessly Microsoft is integrating quantum with its existing strengths. It's embedding quantum development tools directly into Azure's AI and cloud frameworks, allowing companies to prototype hybrid AI quantum solutions that could become standard by the early 2030s. This positions Microsoft not as a competitor to the other quantum players, but as the foundation they all rely on. From a financial perspective, Microsoft's consistency is unmatched. It currently offers a dividend yield of 0.73%, with 10-year dividend growth averaging 10.35%, reflecting its commitment to rewarding long-term shareholders. Over the past decade, its stock has appreciated about 24.96% annually, driven by cloud and AI dominance. Looking ahead, Microsoft's diversified ecosystem spanning AI, cloud computing, and now quantum integration could sustain a revised future CAGR of roughly 19% over the next 10 years. This projection is supported by its massive infrastructure, strong recurring revenue, and growing demand for hybrid computing. At that growth rate, a $10,000 investment today could grow to around $11,973 after 1 year, about $59,397 after 10 years, approximately $344,071 after 20 years, and an incredible $1,972,961 after 30 years, with almost all of that growth coming from appreciation. At number 2, we have IonQ, the pure quantum innovator that's not building software, not building platforms, but building the quantum computers themselves. If Rigetti is the scrappy underdog, IonQ is the poster child of modern quantum computing, the company everyone in the industry is watching. Unlike IBM or Rigetti, which use supercomputing qubits, IonQ's systems are built around trapped ion qubits, a technology known for exceptional precision and stability. Instead of needing ultra-cold superconductors, these qubits are suspended and controlled using electromagnetic fields. The result is a cleaner, more stable, and highly accurate form of quantum processing, a massive advantage in an industry obsessed with reducing error rates. IonQ has already commercialized its technology through partnerships with the biggest cloud providers on the planet. Its systems are live on Amazon Braket, Microsoft's Azure Quantum, and Google Cloud. This means that anyone from a university researcher to a Fortune 500 company can access IonQ's machines remotely, pay per use, and experiment with real quantum algorithms today. The company's hardware is evolving quickly. The IonQ Forte system has already set new records in quantum fidelity, the accuracy of quantum calculations, while the upcoming IonQ Tempo aims to push that even further. Each generation makes its qubits smaller, faster, and more stable, inching closer to what experts call quantum advantage, where quantum computers can outperform classical ones in specific tasks. IonQ's partnerships are another source of strength. Backed by Amazon, Samsung, and Hyundai, the company isn't just developing quantum tech in isolation, it's building applications in logistics, cybersecurity, and materials science with industry leaders. For example, Hyundai and IonQ are exploring quantum machine learning to improve battery chemistry for electric vehicles. These early collaborations hint at how deeply embedded IonQ could become across industries. Financially, IonQ stands out as one of the few publicly traded pure-play quantum computing companies. It doesn't pay dividends yet. Its yield is 0%, and every dollar earned is funneled straight into research and hardware development. Historically, IonQ's average share price appreciation sits around 34.28%, an impressive figure given how early the company is in its growth curve. Looking forward, IonQ's revised future CAGR is estimated at around 20.5% for the next decade. That growth projection reflects its first-mover advantage in hardware commercialization, major cloud partnerships, and the accelerating interest from enterprises exploring real-world quantum applications. If that trajectory holds, a $10,000 investment today could grow to roughly $12,050 after 1 year. Around $64,546 after 10 years, approximately $416,621 after 20 years, and nearly $2,689,128 after 30 years. All of this growth would come purely from capital appreciation since IonQ currently pays no dividends. For investors, it's the boldest name in the quantum revolution. High risk, high reward, and potentially historic. And finally, topping the list at number 1, we have NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA, aka marked as the most important company in the world. While most investors know NVIDIA for its dominance in GPUs and artificial intelligence, few realize how deeply the company is now intertwined with the rise of quantum computing. NVIDIA has become the infrastructure backbone that quantum computing relies on, building the bridge between the digital world we know today and the quantum world that's coming next. Here's why that matters. Quantum computers are extraordinary at solving certain problems, but they still depend on traditional processors for control, optimization, and integration with AI systems. That's where NVIDIA steps in. Its powerful GPUs and software platforms make it possible to combine classical and quantum computing, creating what's known as hybrid quantum systems. This hybrid approach is how the first real-world quantum applications will run, and NVIDIA is already at the center of that ecosystem. The company's CUDA Quantum Platform, CUDA, formerly known as QODA, is a unified framework that allows developers to write programs capable of running on both GPUs and quantum processors. Whether the background hardware comes from IBM, IonQ, or Rigetti, NVIDIA's software connects it all. In other words, no matter who wins the quantum hardware race, NVIDIA still gets paid. That's the genius of its positioning. While competitors fight to build the perfect quantum chip, NVIDIA profits from supplying the computing tools, frameworks, and hardware that everyone needs to participate in the race. It's the modern version of selling picks and shovels during a gold rush, except in this case, the gold is computational power. But NVIDIA's influence goes beyond technology. The company's GPUs already dominate AI training, simulation, and high-performance computing. By merging AI with quantum workloads, NVIDIA is creating a feedback loop of innovation where each new breakthrough in one field accelerates the other. This synergy makes it almost impossible for new competitors to catch up. As for what that means for investors, NVIDIA's dividend yield is tiny, at just 0.02%, but that's because nearly all profits are reinvested into growth. Over the past decade, its average share price appreciation has been a staggering 73.3%, one of the most explosive performances in stock market history. Looking forward, as quantum computing matures and hybrid systems become mainstream, NVIDIA's revised future CAGR is projected at around 22.5% for the next decade. That's a conservative estimate, giving its unmatched role in powering AI simulation and now quantum acceleration. If that pace continues, the projections show a $10,000 investment today could grow to about $12,252 after 1 year, around $76,189 after 10 years, roughly $580,128 after 20 years, and an astounding $4,415,921 after 30 years, making it one of the best bets in quantum stocks. Quantum stocks are great if you want to grow your money, but they're not the go-to option when it comes to dividends. Click the video on the screen to find out how to turn a $10 daily investment into a portfolio that pays over $5,000 in monthly dividend income.